and welcome to my creative space. Thank you so much for being here with me today. Welcome to another DIY video. If you're not already, I would love for you to subscribe and join this creative squad. Today, I'm finally back with another video. I know it's been a little bit, but let's jump right in. Today's video is actually a collab, and I will tell you a little bit more here in a second. But this video, it's a dupes video, and I know some of you love duping just like I do. So let's jump into our first project. For this project, I am recreating this beautiful wreath I found on Pottery Barn. It's $299, and I don't have that, so let's recreate it. Here are some of the items I'm using. This bamboo wreath that I took apart, some little berries, these leaves, some poinsettias, and also you need some Christmas lights. Okay, I'm going to start by taking these pieces. Again, I had already used this in a past project, so they were already separated, but they're really easy to do. Now, the good thing about these is that you can actually stretch them out and make this wreath a little bit bigger, because you know the little wreaths come like really small. So you just stretch them, they actually don't break, and you're good to go. I just started piling them around. Now this wreath, it's pretty skinny, which is why I like it. So I just pile it up, and then once I was happy with how it was looking, I grabbed some of these zip ties, and I'm only going to use them on the side that I'm going to cover with the poinsettias and the leaves. So I use 3 of them, and then on that other side I'm going to use this twine rope, and I'm going to cut a little piece, and then I'm going to tie it. And again, I'm not going to tie it very tight because I kind of still want this volume on it. So I'm going to go with that, and I'm going to tie it, give it a couple of knots, and here we are. Now I'm going to trim the longer pieces, and here we have it. Now I'm going to use another piece, and I'm going to also tie it, and once that is done, I will go in and see if I like it, and I do like it. So I'm gonna trim the little extra pieces from the zip ties, and we are done with this part. Now it's time to add some greenery. So here we are, take them all apart. Okay, once they are apart, I'm gonna take the longer leaves and I'm going to cut them because they're too long. So I cut them, and then I put the other pieces to the side, but guess what, we're gonna go back to them and you'll see here in a little bit. So I grab a few pieces, 3 pieces to be exact, and then I started gluing them together and then adding them onto the wreath. Now I make sure I cover the little zip ties first, which you won't be able to see them anyway because we're gonna cover them with flowers, but that's what I did. Okay, this is what I got so far. Here's what I'm talking about. It was still kind of very empty, so I went back and grabbed the other pieces, the ends of these leaves, and I started cutting the top of it to make them a little bit more pointy, and started gluing them, and here they are. Okay, now I am going to start gluing my little poinsettias, and maybe I said it wrong. Poinsettias, is that what they're called? I'm sorry, I'm horrible at pronouncing things, but anyway, we're gonna keep moving, and I'm gonna start gluing these. And I did have the picture pulled up from Pottery Barn, and I was looking at it and trying to go and see where I could place them to make it look more like it. Once I finished gluing all of these, I just kind of looked around and I was like, well, it's still kind of empty. So I went and grabbed the leaves from the poinsettias, and I kind of just shoved them in there. I glued them in there where I thought they needed a little bit more volume and more coverage. And here I am just randomly placing them on there, and I think it definitely made a difference. Okay, now I am going to take these berries. I thought I was going to use both of them, but I ended up using the more red ones. I started unraveling them, and I cut them in longer pieces, like random pieces, I guess, and then I started cutting them in small pieces. As you can see here, some of them are longer than others. I'm going to start with the longer ones, and I'm going to start gluing them under the leaves and the poinsettias. And this is just gonna be giving that look of the little berries. These berries are a little different than the ones from Pottery Barn, but I still think they look really, really good. Yeah, I'm just gonna continue gluing them. Now I'm going in with the little ones, or shorter ones, and I'm gonna start placing them where I think I need to place them, and just have fun. I love DIYing, and duping is definitely one of my favorite things because you can make expensive things out of very cheap materials, and I definitely do love it. Once that is done, we're moving to the lights, and I was looking for the Twinkle Lights Dollar Tree, but I could not find any, so I'm going to be using these. The ones from Pottery Barn are actually the white ones. These ones are a little bit different, but we're gonna go with it because what matters is that we're making this project, and it's just giving the idea. You can adjust it to what you need, but anyway, I'm just going to I zip tie the little battery box on there, and then I just started pushing the lights through and just finding where I wanted them. And once that was done, you could glue them in there. I didn't. I think it's fine. It's holding up very, very well, but feel free to use some glue. Okay, so here is the end result. I absolutely love this wreath. I think it turned out amazing. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. Today's video, it's a very fun collab hosted by Brandy from the DIY Struggle. She invited me and many more DIYers to participate, and I was so excited to participate with all of these amazing DIYers. There is going to be a video on every single Friday of this month of November. There is also a giveaway. It's an $100 gift card. Everybody is so happy to be giving back to our community, and I thought it was an amazing idea. The rules are simple. You have to watch everybody's video. Everyone's gonna have a question. All you have to do is answer the question, and the winner will be announced November the 17th. Good luck, and I hope you participate. Now let's jump right back into the video. Next project is this really cute tree that is $59 on Pottery Barn, and I'm going to remake it with a couple of dollars. I'm going to be using these little Christmas tree. They're wooden Christmas trees from Dollar Tree. I'm going to use some white paint, some brown paint, a brush, and here's another little tree I found. You could also use this one. I just prefer the little ones because of the shape. It's closer to the original. Okay, I'm going to take the ruler, and I'm going to try to find the middle of this Christmas tree because I'm going to be cutting it in half. Now, once I trace it, I took it outside. You're not gonna see it, but I used my hacksaw, and I am not gonna lie, I did struggle a little bit, but I finally got it in half. So here it is. I am going to grab my sanding block and sand the edges because it was a little bit rough. I wanted it to be as smooth as possible. Once I'm done with that, all I am going to do now is use this white paint from Apple Barrel, and I'm going to cover these Christmas trees. I gave it one coat and it was pretty good, so that's what I'm gonna do. I will suggest that if you decide to recreate this, glue the Christmas trees together first. That was my original thought, but then I went ahead of myself and I didn't, so I'm gonna glue that later and you'll see. But anyway, I just gave it a very good coat of paint, and that was it. Once this little tree were dried, I am going to glue them. As you can see, I remember kind of halfway painting them, so some parts of these little trees are not painted fully. I used some hot glue. I wanted to use some wood glue so you wouldn't see the bumps from the hot glue, but you know, I went ahead of myself, and there was nothing I could do, so I'm gonna use some hot glue. It's holding up pretty good. Now I'm going to go back in and paint the parts that were not painted yet, and then I'm going to let it dry. Once this little Christmas tree is dry, I grab my little brush, and all I'm doing is just like splatting, is that a word? I don't know. Just, you know, shooting some paint at it. That's what we're gonna call it, shooting paint. Splashing paint on this little tree. And then at the bottom, there's some brown on the original one. I just went in with the brush. It didn't seem like it was perfect, so I just went in, and once I was happy, I left it alone. This was a very simple and easy project that completes this project. Now, here is the end result. I think this Christmas tree looks adorable. I absolutely love it. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. For my last and not least project, I am going to recreate this little Christmas tree that is $59 on Pottery Barn. I'm going to be using these Dollar Tree branches, these little box. I'm also using some floral foam. These are, it's a bean sack that I had and cut in pieces. You could also use some of that ribbon from Dollar Tree that looks like burlap. You can also find some fabric at a fabric store, maybe Walmart has it. But anyway, let's get started with this project. I am going to start with the branches. I'm gonna pick one of them, and it comes with 3 little branches. I'm going to put them together. I'm going to grab a zip tie and hold those 3 branches together. This is going to be the core of our tree, and then we're going to start adding some branches. But before that, I'm going to take 3 bundles of these little branches and cut them individually. Now, I forgot to mention, you're also going to need some lights. Okay, let's go back into what we're doing next. Once I have my individual branches, I trim them down because I'm going to start forming it at the top. So the ones at the top need to be shorter, and then I go from there. All I do is just wrap around the wire that comes on these branches, and it worked. Some of them I did added a little bit of hot glue, but definitely you don't need glue, you just need to wrap them around. And do not think I forgot about my question for a chance to win $100. Do you love more fall or Christmas DIYs? Let me know in the comments down below which one is your favorite. And for me, I think I love both, but maybe Christmas a little bit more. But let me know in the comments down below, and good luck. Okay, jumping back into this, here it is. My little tree is looking more like a tree. I'm just going to continue adding, and of course, the lower you get, the longer you want your branches to be. As you can see, I end up pulling the core branches, the 2 on the side to the side. I hope that makes sense. And then now I am just going back, and I'm going to start wrapping them around what I already have tied, and that is going to hold this little tree together and give it more of a shape and also be more sturdy. You want the core to be sturdy, and this is what it's looking like. I think it's looking amazing. Now, the one from Pottery Barn was a little bit more full with those little crystals, but you know, this is close enough, and I really do love how this turned out. Okay, now I did stick my little tree on top of the floral foam, and now I'm adding some hot glue to the box because now we're going to sit this on in there. And once that is done, I'm going to take my 3 pieces of the burlap fabric, aka beanbag. And I only had 3 pieces big enough for this, so the bag, you're going to have to excuse me because we're gonna have to do some DIY to try to fix this. And once I glue my 3 pieces, I realized it was not gonna cover everything in the bag, so I was like, what can I use? So I am using this ribbon from Dollar Tree. It's burlap ribbon. I'm going to cover the bag. This is going to be in the bag, and nobody's really gonna see it, and I'm okay with it, but definitely would have been a lot better with a whole burlap fabric portion, and you can just wrap it. But this works as well. So you could also use some ribbon and just kind of glue those together and make your own fabric. I'm not sure how many rolls of ribbon you would need, but definitely you could recreate this with some ribbon from Dollar Tree. Okay, once I glue the bag and you can't see the blue box anymore, I grabbed a piece of twine rope, and I am going to start tying it. But then I realized the front was also showing because, you know, I only glue it to this on 3 sides. You could still see the box, so I had this leftover piece from the bean bag. I'm going to glue it to the front to try to cover the blue. It definitely works. It looks a lot better after this is glued on there. Once I was happy with how it was looking, I am going to wrap the 3 pieces and make it look like like it's sitting in like a bag. And here it is. All I'm going to do now is grab the piece of twine rope and wrap it around. I did wrap this twine rope around like 3 times, and then I created a really simple bow, and then I trimmed the ends to make it shorter because I didn't want all that hanging on there. And then I am going to be going in with this Twinkle Lights. Definitely do this before you wrap everything. It will make it a lot easier on you. I just forgot about them until I was done, so I had to go back in there and add them. So I put the box in the back, and then I just started wrapping the Twinkle Lights around. Definitely put the battery box wherever you can reach it, because that is going to give you access to turn on and off your little tree. But anyway, that is it for this project. Here is the end result. I absolutely love this little tree. I think it's one of my favorites. Let me know what you think, and also don't forget to participate in this giveaway. Be sure to comment down below, answer my question, which one is your favorite time to DIY? Is it fall? Is it Christmas? And don't forget to subscribe and join my creative squad. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you on my next DIY. Bye!